So, welcome everybody to the first episode of the Quiet Shhh Out Loud. We thought we'd use this time to do a quick intro of what to expect, what our goals are here, how we're planning on talking about things, and just also show you that we're a couple of goofy people just out there in this world collecting stories. So, allow me to introduce the other host of this wonderful show, Ben Bear. Ben, take it away. Why did we decide we're going to do this? Start talking about the quiet stuff out loud, right?
Right. Why did I'll let you speak for yourself about that quiet that we want to talk about out loud. For me, being in TA in the recruiting space for as long as I have now, there are stories, there are processes, there are all the things that people just don't say when they talk about recruiting. You hear it a lot when you read the plethora of LinkedIn posts on a daily basis, whether it's the candidate perspective, whether it's the recruiter's perspective, whether it's the TA leader's perspective, whether it's a hiring manager's perspective.
To cut you off here, I mean, we're talking about all of this from our personal perspective, not our employers, past, present, future. We're talking about this stuff from, just simply the lives that we've lived, the stories we've seen, and the stories that we continue to see. So we're sharing that out loud here too. But yeah, sorry to cut you off.
No, that's a great call out. I mean, the stuff you see in here, some of it is funny, some of it is scary. It's like reading a book, and some of it is just downright dirty. Just depending on what you've experienced. I know I'm looking forward to sharing some of that stuff. But for me, it was really like, how do you take an opportunity and just give other people the opportunity to start talking about some of these things and normalizing the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I think it's important in today's day and age with the overload of information. Like, let's talk about something useful, meaningful, and maybe have a laugh along the way.
Well, and I think what you just said, I hadn't thought about it until you just said it. We went back and forth on what we wanted to name this thing, and finally arrived at the Quiet Shh Out Loud, which, of course, everybody's going to interpret us saying is quiet shit out loud. But I think I liked that we've left a little bit of ambiguity there, because to make that S anything you want, so it could be the quiet space out loud, the quiet specifics out loud. It's really giving us this opportunity to have a little bit of fun with people, not only talking about the bad, but it could be, both the good and the ugly. So certainly it's giving people an opportunity to do it. I mean, you come from the TA space, but you've also had, a number of other careers to go with it. So it's not just TA. It's this legacy of collecting stories throughout your career. I mean, we want to bring in other people, not just the folks like that. So, I mean, how do you think that's going to play into what people can expect to hear and people can expect with, us talking about that quiet stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you come into listening to our content with any expectations, you're going to be delighted and disappointed all at the same time, because I have no idea what's going to come out of anybody's mouth, and I am super excited to find out what people talk to us about, share with us, and shoot, Jeremy, just some of the stuff that you and I have talked about, I can't wait to put out there.
Well, and so let's also come out and say it too. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, I mean, one of the benefits to what we're doing is you got broad appeal. So by all means, reach out to us. If you don't feel comfortable enough in wanting to speak, we will include in the show notes a survey that you can submit, some way that you can submit your story to us, and we'll read it. We can discuss it, and all of that. But by all means, we appreciate the anonymity if you want to maintain it. I think also too, for both you and I, we started our relationship off of an introduction through networking. we've maintained our relationship essentially doing the same thing that we did 2 years ago, which was talking about the hard things, talking about the space, having that catharsis that is needed. I mean, any other kind of thoughts there around like that quiet pieces and giving this that stage uh, for people to start saying it and what that might mean.
Yeah, I think it's bringing the humanity to the professional world in one way, shape, or form, right? Like, I never envisioned when we started chatting we'd be in the place that we're in now, and all the things that have happened from point A to point, I don't know, we'll call this point P, point Q. I don't know, pick a letter. Uh, but being able to actually talk with even more people and broaden our horizons outside of just TA and recruiting, and really listening and hearing and hopefully giving voices to people that may not always feel heard or seen, I think is something that's really important for me. I know we were just talking about this. I'm an ENTJ, and whenever people talk to me about that, I'm like, I feel like an INTJ. I don't know how I got the E next to my name because I feel like an extreme introvert, and so to me, it appeals to really listen to people that don't necessarily get an opportunity to speak up or even want to. Like, I think those are the two groups that I really want to encourage, and I'm talking to you right now. Let us know. We want to hear from you. We want to be able to speak with you about the things that you've seen and heard and done. Like, your voice is important, and they're the ones that are gonna really engage not only this audience but audiences in other places too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. I think, you know, as the INTJ here, so we got an ENTJ and INTJ, all of that. And for people who don't know what we're talking about Myers-Briggs stuff. Um, but I do like what you said there. I mean, and I think back to one of our very early conversations. We're both operationally minded people, and when we do our work, the operation side might come out a little bit more. That might seem a little analytical, clinical, not necessarily the most emotionally engaged, even when we're feeling the emotion inside us and we can't come out. But I think one of the very first things that you've ever said to me that stuck with me is recruiting is about collecting stories. And that I think is something that can very easily be lost in the process of interviewing, is that you're sharing stories, you're sharing, pieces about you. And yes, while interviewing can be construed as theater and performative, it's important to have these stories that people talk about and people have space for and people, are willing and open to sharing, because you never know who might be listening. And that's just the first time that they've heard something, or it's the first time they've heard something that clicked with something that they had previously heard. So certainly we're coming up on a really exciting space for us to have some time. And also we're going to keep it, digestible for people. We're not planning on running an episode for hours. There's no point for us to do that. But, that good 10 to 20 minute range is, enough for somebody to drink it or to listen to it while they're drinking their coffee.
Yep. Or drink it while they're listening to their cup of coffee. That sounds like a good thing. Are we getting to that point yet? We're just going to be able to listen.
It's hey, it's a Friday. Look, anything we're recording this. Sometimes it's been one of those weeks that you need to listen to your coffee, and it's who knows. I certainly think that one of the things that people will get from the both of us is there will be recipes shared, there will be song inspiration, there will be plenty of things for people to take and enjoy, as we go on this adventure. Any sort of closing thoughts as we close out this first episode of ours, Ben?
Yeah, I would say come out come out wherever you are. We will also come and find you. I'm excited to hear from our guests. I'm excited to hear Jeremy sing. Yep, we're gonna find a way to get Jeremy to sing on one of these episodes, one of these times.